Startled by Qi Chunying's sudden movement, Yi Chuan instinctively stepped back and froze for a brief moment in sheer disbelief. Miss Zhang, instantly furious at the unwarranted behavior, barked a sharp reprimand at Qi Chunying, demanding that she keep her hands to herself. Yi Chuan quickly turned to address Miss Zhang, intending to say something important, but the words died in his throat as Qi Chunying closed the distance between them. To Yi Chuan, the looming figure advancing toward him resembled a massive boar. Locking her eyes onto him, Qi Chunying bluntly declared that he had caught her full attention, and all other matters could wait. Without a shred of hesitation, she openly challenged him to a duel. Alarmed by her intensity, Yi Chuan stepped back further, waving his hands to insist that such measures were entirely unnecessary. Contrary to his expectations, Miss Zhang grew excited by the prospect and urged Yi Chuan to showcase his true abilities. In her eyes, watching a clash against an expert was an excellent opportunity for him to grow stronger. Wasting no time, Qi Chunying commanded everyone in the area to clear the space so they could begin. Whispers immediately rippled through the gathering crowd. The onlookers muttered that the instructor was about to teach the newcomer a harsh lesson, eagerly anticipating what promised to be an entertaining spectacle. Slowly extending her hand toward the weapon rack, Qi Chunying called out in a booming voice, commanding her blade to come to her. Within moments, the colossal sword vibrated and soared through the air, landing firmly in her grasp. Without giving any warning, Qi Chunying launched a blindingly fast assault straight at Yi Chuan. She delivered a devastating downward smash that struck the ground with immense force. The sheer impact shattered the floor, scattering broken stone and debris in every direction. Shocked by the violence of the strike, Yi Chuan cried out to ask what she thought she was doing, demanding to know if she was genuinely trying to kill him. Qi Chunying completely ignored his protests. In an instant, she leapt high into the air from the hilt of her massive sword and unleashed a ferocious kick aimed directly at his chest. The force of the blow sent Yi Chuan flying across the courtyard, crashing violently onto the hard floor. As he slowly pushed himself up, he clutched his head in pain, deeply unnerved by the terrifying strength the woman possessed. But before he could even regain his footing, Qi Chunying was already descending upon him once more. She airborne gracefully, raising her heavy sword to prepare another crushing blow, while shouting at Yi Chuan to take their match seriously. With everything she had, she brought the weapon down again. The moment the blade struck the ground, a thunderous boom echoed through the area. Rocks disintegrated into powder, and a dense cloud of dust and smoke instantly swallowed the entire battlefield. Watching from the sidelines, Miss Zhang could not hide her growing anxiety. Clutching her chest, she wondered if Qi Chunying had completely lost her mind, silently praying that Yi Chuan would not be severely injured. Yet, as the thick dust began to clear, a look of profound shock washed over Qi Chunying's face. To her amazement, Yi Chuan had managed to block the massive weight of her sword using nothing more than his humble butcher knife. She stared at him, unable to conceal her wonder. She admitted that the display was impressive, finding it truly remarkable that he could halt her momentum so effortlessly. A faint smile crept onto her face as she noted that she would now have to get a little more serious. Yi Chuan looked back at her with absolute gravity, realizing that this woman had no intention of stopping until he hammered her straight into the dirt. Upon hearing his response, Qi Chunying's excitement only deepened. She showered Yi Chuan with praise, commending his impressive performance and declaring that his fiery attitude was exactly the kind of spirit she wanted to see. Thrilled by the display, she immediately pressed him to resume their match without delay. Yet, before either of them could make a move, the expression on Qi Chunying's face suddenly shifted. She abruptly looked up at the sky. Almost simultaneously, Yi Chuan and Miss Zhang raised their gazes as well, both utterly perplexed by the sudden shift in the atmosphere. A look of pure astonishment crossed Qi Chunying's face as she sensed a strange, overwhelming energy rippling through the air. Highly alert, she quickly turned to the others and asked if they could feel the unusual power surging around them. High above, a brilliant beam of radiant energy suddenly erupted and shot straight toward the heavens. The massive explosion of spiritual force was clearly visible even from where they stood. In that exact moment, Qi Chunying realized precisely what was happening. It was a newly awakened secret realm. Such an immense surge of power was no ordinary event, and its origin undeniably pointed to a newly opened ancient ruin. Meanwhile, across the region, Yu Zhaowan was growing anxious, wondering why Yi Chuan had not yet returned. Looking down at the injured Wang Yuan beside her, her worry intensified as his condition continued to deteriorate. Elsewhere, inside the grand mansion of the Thunder Lion Alliance, three high-ranking subordinates stood before their leader. In a cold, heavy tone, the leader delivered the grim news that his younger brother, Lei Gang, was dead. One of the subordinates gasped in utter disbelief, immediately demanding to know how such a disaster could have happened. To them, it seemed virtually impossible for someone as powerful as Lei Gang to be casually struck down. Right at that moment, Lei Gang's twin spears, which were still crackling violently with purple lightning, suddenly projected a glowing message into the air. The message clearly revealed that the ones responsible for Lei Gang's death were the Nine Heaven Alliance and a simple pig butcher. Instantly, a murderous fury ignited across the face of the Thunder Lion Alliance leader. He clenched his fists so tightly his knuckles turned white, vowing with absolute malice that he would make the Nine Heaven Alliance bleed for what they had done. Meanwhile, the scene shifted to the sprawling Xia family residence. Sha Yan was in high spirits, sprinting eagerly toward the exit, when Mr. Zhao suddenly stepped in to block her path, demanding to know where she was rushing off to and what she was plotting. Excitedly holding up a newly crafted pill, Sha Yan proudly informed Mr. Zhao that she had successfully combined goblin blood, the eye of a big eye monster, and a blood bat wing to create an entirely new formula. She gleefully explained that she wanted to show it to her father right away. Mr. Zhao offered a hesitant, cautious warning, explaining that the head of the family was currently locked in a vital meeting with 4 renowned experts, so it would be best not to disturb him at the moment. Sha Yan pouted at his words, complaining about how incredibly boring that sounded. If that was the case, she decided she would simply head outside to find Yi Chuan and play with him instead. Hearing this, Mr. Zhao panicked and quickly held her back, urgently advising her against going out because he could sense that the streets were far too dangerous at this very hour. Meanwhile, inside the private meeting room, the atmosphere around Sha Yan's father was incredibly tense. Facing the 4 grand experts, he narrowed his eyes and solemnly inquired if they had also detected the strange energy that had just manifested. The 4 experts responded with silent, grave nods. Seeing their agreement, Sha Yan's father declared with cold determination that if the Sha family truly wished to cement their absolute dominance in the martial arts world, this newly emerged secret realm was an opportunity they absolutely could not afford to waste. To him, claiming the treasures of that ruin was a necessity they had to secure at all costs.
The chapter ends here. Watch out for our upcoming uploads. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you'll always be updated on our future videos.